Hey, welcome back. My name is Sean Aaron, he, him, his. And so today's topic is on self love. Today is day 3 of this 30-day engagement. So if this is your first day joining me, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, then thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. And so today's topic is on self love. And so the question for today is, how has your identity as a trans man of color shaped your journey towards self love? I love this question. I love this question. You know why I love this question? Because I love myself and self love. But let's be clear first. It took me a very, very long time to get to this point of loving myself and knowing my worth and having that self-love for myself. And so it wasn't easy. Listen, okay. I transitioned in 2013, so this makes what, 12 years this year that since I began my medical transition journey. And listen, I had them moments where I did not love myself at all. I had moments of depression. I had moments of just with like regret. And a lot of trans men don't talk about that, right? That in between phase of regret. It's almost like you wanting to grow your hair out long, and it's that phase in between before you can actually brush it back and put it into a ponytail where you look a mess. So it's like that. It's like I was like that. It was like that in between phase of like, oh my goodness, I don't know. I'm not sure of what I did. I know how that I identify as a trans man, but like as the changes started to change, I was like, oh shit, what did I do? Like, what, I didn't see 6 months on T. I didn't see year one on T. Year one on T, I didn't see 3 years on T. 3 years, I didn't see 5 years, and 10 years, and now 12 years. And so it's been a long span of like really learning to love myself. And also, I come from a background of extreme verbal abuse and physical abuse. And so I innately was taught, and I want to say unintentionally, right? Because parents don't understand the harm that they're causing to their children, with the words that they speak or the actions that they do. And so it was ingrained in me for a very long time to not love myself, to not believe in myself, to not trust myself, to not believe that I was smart enough, or I was going to be accomplished, or any of those things. I had that negative talk ingrained into me, and I had to literally unlearn all of that stuff. And I'm an extreme advocate for mental health services. And so, if you have access to mental health services, please take advantage of that, because there's so many folks out there that would love to take advantage of it, but they just don't have access. And so, if you have the access, that is a privilege. And so, really take care of yourself in that way, if you can. But self love for me was a journey. Okay. It was a journey, and it was hard and it was rough. And I want to say that, but the moment that I spoke up for myself, and I talked a little bit about it yesterday, about me navigating through all the different letters, the LGBTQ plus. And so I always had a confidence as I stood in each space. But I know there was a there's a difference between how I felt then and how I feel now. And so, yes, I was being authentic. Yes, I was living as myself. Yes, I was living in my truth. Yes, I was visible. But there was a little something that wasn't all the way right for me until I uh went to mental health services and talked about it with my therapist at the time, and came to the conclusion within myself that, yo, I am a trans identified person. And so in that moment, that's when a whole nother journey began. And I had to relearn how to love myself, especially once I started medically transitioning, and once I started to take testosterone, where my body started to change, my voice changed, my face features changed, my body changed in different ways. I had to relearn how to love that part of me, because it was different from what I knew before, right? Internally, I was still the same, but physically, I was changing, and so I needed my mental to align with my physical, and so, but I will say that journey, medically transitioning and identifying as a trans man, was catapulted me towards self love, and it takes self love, right, to choose you. It takes self love to make a decision to go against what anybody may be saying about you, may be saying about trans folks, may be saying about queer folks, may be saying about our community. Because listen, people say, oh, you have a choice. Well, actually, no, you don't. Because you think people would choose to be a part of a marginalized group? Do you think that people would choose to be cast out of their homes because of their sexual and gender identity? No, right? That's just not a choice, but the choice that you are making is to choose yourself and to be happy. That's the choice that you're making. But who you are internally, that's not a choice. That's just who you are, right? And so this journey to self love has really been about learning about myself, healing myself, speaking life into myself, right? I had to unlearn. I had to learn how to unlearn. That's complicated. I had to learn how to unlearn all of the harm that was placed upon me at a young age when I had no choice. But when I got into my 30s and turned 35 and then I turned 40, I really realized that self love for me means that this is the choice that I'm making to take care of myself. About a weekend or so ago, I was at Camp Lost Boys. For folks who don't know what Camp Lost Boys is, I'll kind of try to put the link below. But it's a camp where you just really get to nurture the inner boy in us. And so it's a camp where a physical camp, right? Where this past 2 weekends ago, over 150 trans men came. Not just trans men of color, but just trans men, trans identified men. And so I was having a side conversation with a guy there. And one of the questions that he asked me was, how do you take care of yourself? And I was like, wow, if had somebody asked me that 10 years ago, I wouldn't have an answer for that. But I ran down a whole list of a whole list of things that how I take care of myself, and those things are part of how I love myself. And so one of the things, and so just to name some of the things I said, I go to therapy on a weekly basis. That's how I love myself. I go to the gym. I eat right. I go see a chiropractor like once a week. I go get massages. I go get manicures and pedicures every other week, right? That's how I take care of myself. I was like, dude, if you see my toiletry bag, you know that's how I take care of myself too, right? It's about drinking plenty of water. It's about taking care. I got a whole skin routine, right? It's like taking care of my body, taking care of my skin, taking care of my internal stuff, my muscles and my, you know, by doing the massages, all these things, right? And so that is a form of self love. And I don't think that had I walked into the rest of my truth, I'm gonna say the rest of my truth, because all of it has been truth, right? But in its entirety. So that this is the ending part. As I age, this is the ending part for me. So this is like the last truth that I had to step out of or step into. And so that journey has really motivated me to really love myself, and it sent me on this journey of self-love. And so I really I feel like I'm 44 now, and I feel like I'm at the best point in my life to love myself and putting myself first and prioritizing my health and my care. and my mental health is very important to me. And so I think transitioning kind of set me on this journey to set myself up for success, mentally and physically. And so reflect with me in the comments below. Let me know, how has your identity informed your growth? And so this doesn't even necessarily have to be a trans specific question. This could be for anybody. Like, how did your identity inform your growth? Whatever identity, whatever aspect of your identity, and what that means to you. And so just share down below and let me know. And so thank you for tuning in for day 3. Be sure to join me for day 4. Once again, my name is Sean Aaron, he, him, his, and then I'll see you tomorrow.